His first peace plan has failed. The ceasefire he set up ignored. The killing continues. Kofi Annan's new proposal is for an interim government to oversee a political transition in Syria. But is that realistic? Major powers, including the US, Britain and France, and key Syrian allies China and Russia, will meet in Geneva on Saturday to discuss it. Syria's other major ally, Iran, has not been invited. So what does the proposal contain? According to a blueprint given by one UN diplomat, Annan will propose the setting up of an interim Syrian government that could include members of Bashar al-Assad's administration and opposition groups, but not officials whose presence could harm the transition and jeopardize the credibility of the government or undermine efforts to bring reconciliation. So does this mean the exclusion of the president himself? It is totally unrealistic to imagine Assad's presence would be accepted by opposition members. Of course, the acceptance of the proposal is as ever dependent on a green light from Russia.
The meeting in Geneva is intended to support Kofi Annan's plan. It must set the conditions for the end of violence and the start of an all-Syrian national dialogue and not predetermine the contents of this dialogue.
After repeatedly vetoing UN Security Council resolutions on Syria, it now seems Russia may be trying to slowly distance itself from the Assad government. When Annan's push for a ceasefire began back in March, the Russian foreign minister said Russia didn't support the Syrian government, but the need to start a political process. To do that, he continued, it is first necessary to secure a ceasefire. That never happened. Some opposition groups say including any members of the Assad administration in an interim transitional government is not acceptable.
We're not after removal of a person, we are after removal of a regime, the whole concept of an oppressor in power that is above the law, that can get away with anything. We want to establish a democratic and free country that has the law above everyone.
This proposal comes as opposition fighters seem to be increasingly confident in mounting hit-and-run operations, even against key pro-government targets like this pro-Assad TV station. There are also reports of more military defections. According to the Syrian Revolutionary Council in Idlib, almost 300 soldiers joined opposition fighters in Damascus earlier this week. Charles Stratford, Al Jazeera.